with your life. That was the journalism school's definition of propaganda.
So every commercial now is about COVID. Every other one. So how does that work? Who buys that space?
We're in a time.
CDC?
Yeah. And I think about us, and this is with any station. I'm not just going to say Fox 26.
Yeah, no, everybody.
ABC, KRC.
I just watch TV. I just see it all day, every day.
The whole time, it's like, let's be safe.
Well, how much money are they spending to do that? That's a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, they're spending money. They're spending money because they can't. CDC. They can't. They are without the in the pocket. They're there.
Do they pay more though to get all that time? Yeah. They do? So they would pay more to Mercedes.
Oh, yeah. And then the thing about it, you would never imagine the clients that fight over positions to get into something.
But they take all the
positions. They're like, all right, I'll pay y'all this. It's almost like a gamble. A bidding war. It becomes a bidding war. Yeah, it's a bidding war. So if you know
who wins the bidding war?
The highest motherfucking pay.
Who's the highest motherfucking pay?
Whoever want to take it.
Vaccines are a potential moneymaker for Fox. I mean, that's some advertising. The vaccines, they need to be advertised somewhere. They can be advertised on Fox. Fox gets paid for that. So you've got to, as a viewer, you've got to look at who is advertising on this TV station, and you've got to realize that surely this TV station doesn't want to hurt its advertisers.
When Hecker's Fox 26 colleagues were asked if Fox 26 would ever adjust news coverage based on its advertisers, even they admit, quote, a lot of stuff can happen, unquote.
So could the ad council call you and be like, hey, I want to run all these spots, but I want to make sure your journalists aren't running any anti-vax stories?
If that happens, it's above our
You won't know about it? What about you?
It's above me. Would you hear?
You think you hear about it?
Oh, that happened? Oh, I'm so sad to hear that. It goes, there's a hierarchy in a tree.
But does stuff like that ever happen?
It can. A lot of stuff can happen.
I looked up the ad council, and some of their biggest donors are the vaccine companies. So another one of their biggest donors is Fox Corp. So Ad Council would be paying Fox after Fox gave a tax-deductible donation to Ad Council. What's particularly concerning about the Ad Council posts is they don't come off as ads. It's not blatant that it's an ad, and it's actually paid advertising. So it's a little deceptive.
It's not clear that it's an ad.
It's a little deceptive as far as whether it is an ad. The news does need advertisers to exist, but you always hope that if the news had to cover a story about its advertiser, that it would do it unbiasedly. But there is definitely a conflict of interest.
You mentioned about advertisers. Does the news industry need advertisers to exist?
They do. That's their primary source of funding.
Is that compatible with telling the news?
There's always that concern that the corporation might cater too much to advertising or self-censor to make sure they don't lose any advertisers.
A reasonable viewer might conclude that a local Fox reporter like Ivory might be doing this just for fame and notoriety. When asked, this is what she had to say. And a lot of people are going to be watching this and speculating, saying things. You'll even have some critics. My question is very simple. Why are you doing this?
It affects the viewers. That's why I'm doing this. The viewers are being deceived by a carefully crafted narrative in some stories, okay? In some areas, they do fantastic journalism. For some reason, some of these stories have an incredible slant. And if you accidentally step outside it, they try to internally destroy you. As I've witnessed firsthand, that affects the viewers. That does not just affect me.
Are you afraid of doing this?
I haven't had a lot of fear about it. I'm so horrified at what the news business has stooped to. At this point, I want out of this narrative news telling. I want out of this corruption.
Corruption, that's a strong word.
I want out of the corruption. I want to tell true stories without fear of whether it fits the corporate narrative.
The corporate news paradigm is incompatible with journalism.
Absolutely. It's very sad. It's very sad.
And you're not the only person that feels this way. We have spoken to other people who may or may not do what you're doing, who work for other stations and news operations and news organizations. What is your message to those people?
You need to stand for something or fall for anything. And journalism is so important. If you look at history, it is so important to go after the stories that your viewers are craving answers to keep that loyalty to the viewers and to the truth. And if you allow yourself to be guided through a corporate narrative, to be used as a tool of corporate narrative, corporate news propaganda, whatever you want to call it, then you may very well be contributing to the problems that begin to develop in a society that develops a censored press.
Ivory Hecker is ready to pursue a career in independent